to start the session 1.
Thanks to my fellow host, Anunadi, for assigning me here. So, Assalamu alaikum everyone, and a very good morning from me. This is MD Titash Parvez from the Termite Society of Bangladesh, and I am working with Termite Society as the Acting General Secretary and also as one of the executive members. I am very happy to be here as a host, and thanks to both organizations, Friends of Environment of India and Termite Society of Bangladesh. So, to begin our first session, I would like to welcome our honorable chairpersons of the first session, Dr. Sirajul Haq. Now, before beginning the session, I would like to say some few words about our chairperson of this session. Professor Dr. Sirajul Haq, PhD, Honorary Professor, Department of Soil, Water and Environment and former Department of Soil Science at University of Dhaka. After having MSc degree, he joined the Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute at Gazipur as a scientific officer in Soil Science Division and worked there for 20 months before joining the Department of Soil Science at University of Dhaka on 1st December 1980. He obtained PhD degree in Soil Science from the University of Aberdeen, Scotland, UK in 1987. He has over 42 years of experience in teaching and research field with more than 165 publications in journals of home and abroad to his credit. He supervised 11 PhD students in association with other teachers and 2 MPhil students, and supervising 4 PhD students, and worked as a supervisor of 90 MSc students, including the students of other departments of Dhaka University and other universities as well of Bangladesh. He acted as adjunct faculty in the Department of Environmental Science of Jahangirnagar University and now acting as an adjunct faculty in Bangladesh University of Professionals. He was associated with some research projects funded by different government and non-government organizations. He attended various important international conferences regarding soil, environment, and climate change as well. Agricultural issues. He compiled 1,380 entries in the Bigyan Vishwakosh, which is known in English as Science Encyclopedia, published by Bangla Academy. Translator of some entries and compiler of few entries of Banglapedia, published by Asiatic Society of Bangladesh, and jointly written an article in Children's Encyclopedia published by Islamic Foundation. Beside this, he also wrote chapters individually and jointly in some books. He is the proud member of the Soil Science Society of Bangladesh, Bangladesh Association for the Advancement of Science, Bangladesh Society of Microbiologists, Bangla Academy, Asiatic Society of Bangladesh, and Dhaka University Alumni Association. So basically, these are the very short bio of our respected chairperson, which is not enough to know him. But we will get him for the whole first session today and hope it will help us to learn about his expertise. So before handovering the mic to our respected chairperson, I would like to notify everyone that our every paper presenter will get 10 minutes to complete his all slide regarding his paper. And if our chairperson wishes to give you reminder 2 minutes before the finishing time, he can, and also he can give some extra time to someone. Our chairperson may ask you questions on your presentation and can deliver the participants' questions to you. So we'd like to request everyone to finish their presentation within time and hope everyone will help us to successfully complete the program. Now, I would like to hand over the session to you, sir, and requesting to start the program with your valuable short speech, sir. Sir, the mic is over to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dinesh.
Thanks.
Good morning to you all. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizers of the 2 days international conference on environment and climate change. It is a joint venture, you know, by the Hariharpur Friends and Environment India and Termite Society, Bangladesh. I am a bit familiar with the activities of the Termite Society only. Thanks also to the organizers who have selected me to chair the first session of the day 2 of the conference. The theme, you know, is the environment and climate change, but it also includes the conservation of mangrove forest ecosystem and International Tiger Day. All these things are together a very big job. It is not possible to cover all these things because I want to give some introduction. Environment is composed of enormous variables. But I think EN stands for enormous, E for variables distributed among the segments of the environment: atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, biosphere. There is some type of dynamic equilibrium among these segments, but it is disturbed by the anthrosphere, that is the human activities. Our present situation actually is the creation of the human activities. We cannot ignore it. I hope those who are presenting today, the papers will contain some information. Yesterday, we have enjoyed some lectures regarding Sundarban, tigers, and climate change and biodiversity decline by some of the presenters. They have presented very good articles. I was attending all this, not all, but for some time I had to go to do something. That is why I could not attend one or two lectures. Anyway, they presented good information, and today I hope from our this session you will learn a bit more. Already Titash has said every presenter will be given only 10 minutes time, and we are already late by some minutes. Well, my request to the presenter would be that they should finish within the stipulated time. Just, I want to give a brief introduction about the climate change. What we are observing today, a lot of events are going on, and I hope all of you are acquainted with those problems. 13 states of USA is under wildfire. Last year, we observed the wildfire in Amazon. Other countries facing wildfire problems are Canada, Russia, Turkey, Lebanon, and some other European countries, possibly. Britain has already declared that they are undergoing disruptive climate change. That is, they are facing the problems, recent intensive rainfall in London. Intensive rainfall caused flood in China, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, UK, India, even Afghanistan. But we Bangladeshis are always acquainted with those type of things. We are also facing this. And North Korea, I think, is new to this list. Greenhouse gas levels are already too high. It is declared. Warming at Arctic region, it is also declared. And yesterday, Phil Zaman has shown the fate of the white bear on the North Pole. China is badly affected by the rainfall, and they have already declared that the intensity of rainfall will increase more. The problem is that China has created a lot of dams on the river. That is, the natural course of water is disturbed. That may be one of the cause of their flood in their country. So I don't want to extend my lecture now. I will give a concluding lecture later on at the end of the session. Now I request Deepu Hafizur Rahman to present his paper on role of youth on environment awareness for climate change. Dipu Hafizur Rahman, please.
Excuse me, sir. Actually, he is not present here now, sir.
That's okay. Then next one,
Ji, sir. Yes, sir, sir.
Afrin Sravoni.
Yes, sir, I'm
Afrin
here.
Sravoni, you are requested to present your paper. Okay.
Thank you so
Start.
much, sir.
Maintain time because we are already late.
Okay, are my slides visual to all?
Yes, I'm watching this slide.
Thank you, sir.
I think everybody will enjoy it.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Termite Society, Friends of Environment, and Honorable Chairperson for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. I am Afrin Saraboni, currently studying Geography and Environment at University of Dhaka. My today's research topic is Environmental and Socio-Economic Aspects of Urban Open Green Space in City Life, a case study of Chandrima Uddan, Ward 27, Dhaka North City Corporation. Without any further delay, I would like to start my presentation. History of life on Earth has always been surrounded by nature, and human being has always appreciated greenery to find the flavor of life. Urban green open space can be defined as broader structure of urban and neighborhood development rather than just recreation and leisure facilities. It is an outdoor space with significant amount of vegetation, and it exists as semi-natural areas. According to World Bank, Dhaka is a mega city with around 20 million people, but its residents have always been lacking of open green space for its unplanned urban structure. An ideal urban space should have 25% of green space for a quality life of urban dwellers, where Dhaka has 14.5% of open space. The urban parks, according to its location and facilities, may provide opportunities for city dwellers for physical exercise and social interaction. The objectives of my study regarding to assess the respondents' perceptions about current status of the park and level of their satisfaction with the overall environment, to designate the quality of maintenance and facilities of Chandrima Uddan, and the last but not the least, to indicate the optimal socio-economic and environmental impact of the park. The study area was Chandrima Uddan. It is a small public park located across the road of the National Parliament House at Sher Bangla Nagar, Ward 27, Dhaka North City Corporation. As you can see, I have collected two maps and one image here. The first map shows that Dhaka is situated in the center of Bangladesh, and the second map is showing us the vegetation pattern of Dhaka city. You can notice that the study area is much greener than the others. And the third image will give you a full visualization of the park. It is square in shape and situated just opposite of our National Parliament House. Moving forward to the methodology, a structured questionnaire was distributed among 50 chosen respondents, and also interviews are carried out to know more about their perceptions and expectations. Data are collected from both primary and secondary sources. If you look at the major findings, we can see that among the respondents, 27.1% of them visit Chandrima Uddan from the nearest residential area, Manipuri Para. And if you look at the age of the respondents, we can see that 31% of all the respondents' age vary from 41 to 50 years. They are mostly professionals, businessmen, and retired persons. The most of the among the respondents, 32% are professionals and 22% are students. Students are not regular visitors. Usually, they often visit Chandrima Uddan at evening with their friends and family to enjoy quality time. 18% of the respondents are businessmen, where 12% of them are housewives. 48% of the respondents visit the park daily, while 22% of them visit the park weekly or 2 times in a month. 50% of the respondents reveals that they come to Chondrama Uddan to enjoy their quality time. That includes both morning walk exercise and gossiping, discussing many issues with their friends and groups they have related to Chondrama Uddan. 32% of the respondents express their opinion that they come to Chondrama Uddan for having a morning walk, or 14% of them express that they come here for exercise purpose. 59.2% of all the respondents believe that Chondrama Uddan is a safe place for family visit, while 21.2% of them think that Chondrama Uddan is not suitable and its environment is not so good for having a family visit. 59.6% of all the respondents are satisfied with the existing facilities of Chondrama Uddan. They are satisfied with the environmental qualities of this park and love to enjoy the beauty of this park. While 28.8% of them are not satisfied, they think that the facilities should be improved. 59.6% of the respondents think that it is safe as at afternoon. They regularly visit Chondrama Uddan at morning time, but those who come at afternoon or have an experience coming here at afternoon time, they believe that at afternoon the park is not suitable for regular visitors. 42.3% of the respondents are satisfied with the maintenance services, while 30.8% of them are not satisfied. When I have asked the respondents what's their opinion, whether authorities should take proper steps to improve the current status or not, the 86.5% of the respondents think that authorities should take steps to make the park more neat and clean and increase their security for the visitors. 84% of the respondents regularly come to the park and they come at morning. So moving forward to the environmental aspects of Chondrama Uddan. It is undoubtedly can be said that Chondrama Uddan is one of the most beautiful natural places Dhaka has. But due to the rapid increase of artificial urban pavements, which are different in thermal, optical, and geometric properties, the urban settlements are getting hotter than rural areas, and cities all over the world are experiencing more common urban heat islands. There are growing numbers of scientific papers that I have reviewed. They indicate that the presence of natural features such as gardens, urban parks, forests, and green belts with their particular components such as trees, water, etc., can contribute to the quality of life in many ways. And the environment of Chondrama Uddan is a blessing to us, as the city dwellers reveal their opinion to me. They think that it is a wonderful place for having a refreshment, to enjoy the natural beauty and natural refreshment in the midst of a busy city. But Chondrama Uddan has regular visitors from the nearby places. During any special occasion, people from around the whole country come here to enjoy their quality time. And sometimes it is out of the capacity of this park. So there are a few dustbins placed in different spots of the park. These dustbins are not being used properly by the visitors. They are throwing the wastes like used paper, plastic bottles, plastic bags in the lake, and thus not only the water of the lake but also the environment of the park is being polluted. If you look at the socio-economic aspects of Chondrama,
you have 1 minute more.
thank you, sir, for your reminder. Chondimandan is one of the hotspots for tourism. Besides regular visitors, tourists from different countries to visit the park. Park provides a great benefit to the citizens, both those who live nearby and tourists. In addition to their many environmental benefits, including preserving plant and animal habitat, decreasing air pollution, and water filtration, parks create an economic benefit for both governments and individuals. The social and economic contribution of tourism to local communities is inevitable, especially for the poor vendors, news sellers, and other small business. We can end the presentation with some recommendations. Facilities for women sanitary should be provided, and the park should have public toilet for both male and female. Visitors think that space should be expanded so that more people can enjoy the facilities. Due to the lack of proper security, most of the visitors are not willing to visit the park, so manpower should be increased. After evening, there is insufficient light in the park, making it not suitable for family visits, so authorities should take proper steps to exclude illegal occupation like sex workers, pickpockets, and beggars. The park should have more trees so that city dwellers can enjoy fresh oxygen and environment. In the conclusion, we can say that Chondimandan is situated in the heart of Dhaka city and a major source of refreshment for the city dwellers. It plays a vital role to improve their physical and mental health. On the other hand, the park is a source of income for the poor and needy people. Visitors are satisfied with the nature and green environment of the park, but they are not satisfied with the maintenance service and existing facilities. The quality of the park is not bad, but needs to be improved for the indulgence of visitors. Thank you, everyone, for being patient. If there are any question, you are feel free to ask. Thank you.
I think no questions, Ramone. I didn't find any time to visit Chandrima Udyam, although it is very close to my house. But I visited the campus of Karjan Hall. That was a very nice, that is a very nice place. I still visit there. So thank you for your presentation. Okay.
Thanks.
Our next presenter is Shuman Kumar Sahu. He will present paper on aquaculture productivity, environmental sustainability, and climate change adaptability, farmers' perceptions and innovation in Haldia, West Bengal. Okay, Shuman Kumar Sahu.
Thank you, sir.
Start your presentation.
Sir, just I screening my PPT. Is it visible, sir?
Just a minute, sir. Sorry for interrupting, sir. We'd like to request our next presenter, Suhail Altaf, to be prepared because we don't have your presentation with us. So this is only one announcement. You can continue, Mr. Sahu. You can continue.
Sir, can you share from your end my PPT?
Yeah, we can. If you want, we can share.
Okay, sir. Please share, sir.
Okay.
Who is next? Suhail Altaf.
Sir, can you share? Okay, sir. The last one. Good morning, respected chairperson, Dr. Sirajul Haq Sahib, and all dignitaries and respected organizer, and all my dear colleagues and ladies and gentlemen. I am Suman Kumar Sahu. I am very lucky, and it's me a great opportunity to present such type of conference, international conference on environment and climate change. And I like to present on the topic of aquaculture productivity, environmental sustainability, and climate change adaptability, the farmers' perception and innovation in Haldia, West Bengal. Next, please, sir. Sir, next slide, please. in aquaculture continues to significantly expand its production, making it a fastest growing food production sector in globally. We all know the fish is the main source of animal protein for 3 billion people in worldwide, and fish is a important source of essential vitamin and fatty acid also. Actually, we talk about the aquatic ecosystem. We all know the aquatic ecosystems performs many important role in environmental function. And in our ancient civilization, which is start from such type of such type of river and stream of aquatic ecosystem. So the climate change and environmental issue we can talk without the discussing except the aquatic ecosystem. According to FAO, the aquaculture contribute to globally the fish production has continues to rise, the reaching 82.1 million tons, and the further step of aquaculture production out of global fish production is expected to grow from the current 46 to 53% in 2030. And whereas the 520 million people and their defense and worldwide, most of them in a developing country live by fishing and aquaculture. And fish provide, and already told the provide a source of animal protein, and also its source of a cash income for many poor and household. Is a widely trade for food community, and also it is a play a good role in our economy, and fish can also an important source of foreign exchange also. Next, please, sir. So the aquatic ecosystem represent the most of the biodiverse source of food consumed by human, and it include not only fish, it include plants, algae, animals such as crustacean, mollusks, reptile, amphibian, and finfish also. And the aquatic system we can broadly divide it in freshwater ecosystem, brackish-water ecosystem, and marine ecosystem. Brackish-water, we all know it is the depends on salinity ranges from 0.5 to 35 ppt. It depends. It's fall in brackish-water ecosystem, and includes the ponds and lake and river and stream. It's the freshwater ecosystem, and estuaries, coast, sea, and man-made ecosystem is brackish-water ecosystem, and deep and shallow ocean, it is the marine ecosystem. Next, please, sir. So the effect of climate change on aquaculture and implication for its sustainability, actually the impact of affecting aquatic system and fisheries, both harvest and culture system, especially in the estuary and marine areas, they are affected the effect of rising of sea level, increase of acidity in marine water, increase in global temperature, changing rainfall, etc. It is the main issue. We all know that the main things that affect our aquatic system for in due to this type of climate change. Let's say. And in this aquatic system, it's only depend on our water. And water, it can be we can divide into two types. It is the blue waters such as surface, ground, and aquifer water, and which is taken for wild fish, aquaculture practice, aquatic plant production, etc. And in case of green water, which is taken by the terrestrial plant, it all are in a circular system. This is one type of evaporation, irrigation, and saturation soil. They are all are linking each other for our utilization of aquaculture and other food production. So the aquatic ecosystem is play a vital role in our environment. Next, please, sir. So impact of climate change in aquatic systems, such as our home site pond, we can see the changes mean the rainfall changes, the flood changes, the drought, the fluctuation of temperature, all are involved for water turbidity or plankton, which is the natural feed of the aquatic organism, the dissolved oxygen quantity, water pollution, all are affect the fish for their survival, growth, feeding, and production. This is the climate change is projected to impact the broadly across the ecosystem, society, and economic, increasing pressure on all livelihood and food supply, including those in the fisheries and aquaculture sector. There is an urgent need to better understand where the climate change is most likely to reduce the livelihood option for fishers and where there is the greatest need to invest in alternative rural and urban enterprises. Next please, sir. In this scenario, the climate change that affect the water temperature, the decrease or increase of temperature in due to the climate change condition. This is the affect our production of fish and other organisms, and also produce some toxic, harmful algal bloom that affect our aquatic ecosystem. Next, please, sir. And also, the biggest challenge in climate change lies is more frequently more incidents that disease and parasite outbreak also. And in such cases, the farmers they try to apply such type of antibiotic, some types of toxic chemicals, which is the harmful for a human being also. It is the indirect effect from the climate change to which motivate or we insist to farmer to do such type of practice. Next question. In this scenario, it is also affect about the blue economy. We all know the United Nations Conference Sustainable Development, which is known with the Rio +20 conference, which is held 2012. They are also they are discussing the effect of greenhouse effect. The carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, nitrogen oxide, which impact the parameters such type of sea surface temperature, salinity, pH, and also it is the impact on biological impact and impact also in fisheries sector, aquaculture sector. Next, please. So who is most affected? The most affected by the small farmer who the household pond who spend the little time to monitoring the controlling such type of system. Changes in temperature, quality or poor welfare indicators can thus missed easily. So the backyard pond and small pond, the small villagers, they are affected more such type of changes in aquatic change. Please. Next, please, sir. This impact on climate change, the temperature, salinity, dissolved oxygen, and hydrological. It is changing the physical system of fishes, the immune system, the cardiorespiratory system, neuroendocrine system, the osmoregulatory system. This result in ecological response such as survivability low, behavior, abnormal behavior, growth less, reproduction belongs that this trend to extinct or endanger such type of aquatic species due to changes in climate change. Next, please. In such scenario, in changes in climate, in environment, in the small portion of India, in West Bengal, the Haldia fish farmers, they are taken some adaptive measurement against this climate change to sustainable fishery and aquaculture. So one of the great example is the using the pump set or aeration. It is the artificial control of dissolved oxygen, which can maintain this changes in temperature, changes in pH. We all know the acidity and alkalinity of parameter of water, and it is the better practice for good quality fish and good quality of sustainable and management practice in aquaculture. Because it is reduce the water heat, lower the growth of fish, bad water quality, disease prevalence, insufficient water, reduce feeding, all the adverse effect, it can be minimized by using such type of pump set or aerator. It is used by farmers broadly. Next, please.
Shubham, time is finished.
Sir, last 1 minute. And they are using the diversified they are using the pond dike. They are using such type of plantation in creek. Next, please, sir. They are also species diversified in aquaculture, some endangered indigenous species like Pabda, Magur, Sigi, Koi, Tangra. This is the adaptive measurement for climate change in fisheries and aquaculture. Next question. They are using such type of improved variety, the adaptive measurement for climate change, the culture of gift tilapia, joint turi, dakinate rui, pulse spot, milkfish, pengba, amur carp, etc. Next question. And they are using the organic juice. It is the innovative method, the eco-friendly culture system, reduce the environmental impact, improve the land quality. It is the higher productivity and reduce the pollution, etc. Next, please. Next, please. And there some adaptive measurement conserve the artificial propagation of this endangered species to improve the water quality. Next, please, sir. And the women also involved in such type of adaptive measurement. Their empowerment women, it is a vital play vital role in such sector. Next, please, sir. And some cases are also published in a few newspaper. Next slide. So for aquaculture productivity, environmental sustainability and climate change adaptability is an important issue in the current situation. In this context, we will talk about the farmers' perception, innovation, and farmers of Haldia, West Bengal is a make a good example. That is the diversified farming using organic method, using eco-friendly practice and some technique, and also the women involvement. This is the main crucial point for increasing our public awareness and organizing sustainable activity against the climate change to sustainable environment. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is there any question? Recently, we are observing the effect of climate change on aquaculture in Satkhira region. Abnormal flooding of the fish ponds,
Yes, sir.
and a great loss of the farmers. That is the effect of climate change, I think so. I don't know whether we will agree or not. Anyway, thank you for your presentation, informative presentation. Okay. Our next presenter is Sohail Altaf. Sohail Altaf. No. The next, Dr. M. Rameshwar Singh. Rameshwar Singh, yes,
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Okay. We will present
Okay,
on
sir.
environmental stresses and strains, a glimpse of the wetlands of Manipur. Please start your presentation.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Dear presenter, we would like to have E. Hema Bhati. After the presentation of Dr. M. Rameshwar Singh, I would like to request you to be ready to present your paper after Dr. M. Rameshwar Singh, and we will be ready to present your slide if you are here. Dr. M. Rameshwar, Dr. E. Hema Bhati, are you there? E. Hema Bhati.
Sir, can I start?
Yes, you start, please.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Good morning, organizers and chairperson for today's session. I am Dr. Rameshwar Singh. Actually, I am a man of literature, teaching literature in a college in Manipur, but my interest here in environmental aspects. Because of that, I attempted this presentation to share my views on the wetlands of Manipur and some effects because of that associated problems we are facing here. I wanted to share those experiences there. As we know, sir, wetlands are among the most important ecosystems of the earth. They constitute an integral part of the terrestrial and aquatic systems and nearly cover 6% of the Earth's surface. Despite the importance of these wetlands and this people's association with the wetlands, the study of the wetlands started only from 1930s when Beatles initiated studies on some Paraguayan swamps. However, systematic study of wetlands started all over the world only after the International Convention of Wetlands held in Ramsar in Iran in 1971, commonly known as Ramsar Convention. So in India also, wetland studies and research gained momentum after the Ramsar Convention. So wetlands are, as we know, found in different geographical and environmental conditions over the Earth's surface, and they have different functions, resources, and attributes, thereby representing various forms of geo-environment. So definition about wetlands, that is what Ramsar Convention, we know that So wetland is actually a generic term used to define the universe of wet habitats, including marshes, swamps, bogs, fens, similar areas. So what happened to this? Is there something wrong, sir? In my
Hitesh,
Yes, sir. Everything is
I
fine, sir.
problem.
lost the slide.
But slide is not displaying here.
Is it displaying? I
No, sir.
lost.
Still, it is not displaying, sir.
Let me check just a minute, sir.
Sir, otherwise, if you want, we can share your slides, sir. We have your
Okay,
slide.
that will be very fine. It's working, I think. It's working, I think. Sure. It's working, sir. Let me share. Okay. Let me continue. Sir, as we know, wetland is very important. Wetlands are found in every state of Northeast India.
Sir, sorry for interrupting, sir. It is not
Yes.
displaying, sir. Sir, slides are not visible, sir.
Okay. Then better please you share from.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that will be fine.
If you agree, you can present it later after correcting the slides.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Please move on. So this part, what is wetland? It's not necessary here to discuss about. Please move on to the next slide, whose time is limited for me also. So wetlands here, talking about this, in Manipur, we have 155 wetlands, a small size, 2.5 hectare and above size, covering a total area of 529 square kilometers. So altogether, lakes or the wetlands constitute 82% of the wetlands of Manipur. There's lakes. Mostly these lakes are located in the valley called as part, so very prominent. And physiography of the state is dominated by the basin called Loktak, the largest freshwater lake in northeast. And most of the wetlands are concentrated on the central part of the state around the Loktak basin. There are many other varieties of lakes, wetlands in Manipur we have. Please move on to next. Please change the slide. Now, wetlands are, as we know, a very important source of bioenergetic for the entire state, and consequently, a large section of the peasantry in the vicinity depends on the lakes, these wetlands, for their livelihood, sustainability, and the people of Manipur fully exercise their right to life and the right to environment on these wetlands. And there is also increasing trend of population pressure on these wetlands and its associated land use pattern, degraded ecosystem of the wetland and the entire state as a whole. And almost all the ponds and the lakes that have been in the valley have been filled with art because of siltation, and they are occupied by human settlement and the commercialization of those spaces. And mainly the debris brought down from the catchment area of the valley rivers have been continuously deposited into valley, and we saw the effects of it. I will show them on the slide in the pictures. So besides construction of dams, made more and more siltation along the riverbeds, and it led to the shallowing down of the water bodies in the valley and in many areas. Please move on to next slide. Please, sir, change the slide. Okay. These are the categories of inland wetlands in Manipur: lakes and the ponds, oxbow lakes, waterlogged, reservoir, and these are located in different districts of Manipur, but mostly in the valley districts. Most of these wetlands are located here. Please move on. Please change the slide. So almost talking about the stresses and the strain, which is the main thrust area of the presentation, let me share my observation here. All the wetlands in Manipur suffer from a host of geo-environmental problems, and depending on their location and characteristics, wetlands are also prone to various environmental issues, and more particularly, wetlands situated close to human habitation, that is in the valley of Manipur, suffer from a number of serious problems that pose threat to their ecology, their physical existence, and indirectly to the economy of many people who are depending so long on those wetlands, on those lakes. So these stresses upon physical aspects of the wetland environmental include changes in the flow regime of the water flow of the river, sediment supply, turbidity level, degradation of the structural habitat. And degradation and the degeneration results from interaction of many physical, chemical, and the biological process that is undergoing there, and it adversely affect the ecosystem, the lake, the wetlands existence. So expansion of developmental activities put a lot of pressure on ecological stress and the strain on the wetland systems, and we are experiencing the frequent floods or untimely droughts that are associated with these because of this drying up of the wetlands, which cannot hold the water for a longer period of time, could not accumulate. Those things are there. Kindly change the slide, please. Next slide, please. So wetlands are actually getting degraded at an alarming rate, largely due to anthropogenic factors in the state. So changing land use because of this developmental activities, excessive fragmentation of wetland due to developmental works that is going on, carried on in the valley area, intensive agricultural activities in the surrounding area, and a decreasing biodiversity are the major causes of wetland degradation. And the wetlands and their biodiversity are threatened as a result of sectoral and ad hoc approach from the side of the management, from the planning department, that integrated into the management of water, wetland resources, and biodiversity, and also due to absence of clearly defined goals and objectives from the planning side. And the peculiar land holding system of the hill areas poses another difficulty here in the management issues of the wetlands, because the land laws which are there in the valley cannot be applied to the protected hill areas. That's why management system is also one of the hurdles. So there is an urgent need to follow appropriate program on community participation of the wetlands management. Please move on to the next slide. So please, next slide. Now, let me show this is the clear picture of Loktak Lake with its pristine beauty, Loktak with its ecosystem, which supported the livelihood of many people who are settled around here, and it also supply the food that Manipuris who are living in Manipur who consume a lot of fish. It also, this lakes also used to supply earlier. Now it is reducing. Next slide, please.
You have
Now
1 minute more.
Okay, thank you, sir.
1 minute.
So this is how the picture is showing how livelihood support is by the wetlands. These fishermen are fishing and they are selling their products to the market, and who is also supporting the economy not only for themselves but for others also. We are also enjoying those fishes, the freshwater fishes from these lakes. Then the next slide is neglected. Site is neglected Lamphel part. This is another wetland in the valley here. Let me see this one. So in this Lamphel part area, a lot of debris, a lot of dust, a lot of residues from the market, Imphal market. They are deposited here, thrown here, and it led to biological environmental degradation. Not only slowing down, not only reducing the lake pond area, also affected climatically. So a lot of chemical hazardous things are also producing. Please, next slide. So this is because of this siltation and wetlands loss. We saw these frequencies of the drought and flash floods. 2 hours of rain in the valley, and suddenly we saw the flood. This is directly or indirectly associated with this wetland that is losing its importance because of slowing down. It cannot accommodate the waters, and it cannot store the waters, which can be supplied when there is less rainfall. In that case, drought can be subverted, but we cannot do this because of this wetlands are losing its importance, its significance, it's losing its marks. Please move on, sir. Now, to come to this, the point of discussion here, so as wetlands are the most important ecosystem essential for all forms of life, they obviously have their substantial contribution towards enriching the region's economy and environment. And the wetlands should be categorized based on their present status in terms of biodiversity, resource base, extent of degradation, and economic value. The present system of multi-authority ownership, as I discussed there, that is the management system in the hill area having a different land law, land ownership norms. This kind of things should be removed, and they should be brought under the custody of one proper authority like Loktak Development Authority. In case of Loktak Lake, to conserve it, Government of India has initiated programs. So in the state, this kind of policies are to also be implemented and equally implemented in all areas, crossing across the boundaries of these land laws. So rural communities living in a close to the wetlands and having intimate associations with them should be brought under community participation program and following the caring and the sharing concept of wetland management, unless their contribution is there and they have followed their old traditional system of management and not allowing the authorities, not allowing the planning part to enter and manage those things. Fragmentation because of this, a lot of issues, a lot of problems are there. And here, the government is also getting a difficult time to manage, even though they know the importance of safeguarding these wetlands. Still, they cannot do their works because of this land laws and the fragmented systems. And in that case, politically also, they cannot interfere into certain domains which are protected by the constitution, which are protected by the land laws, those rigid land laws. So wetland conservation is very much, without this, what we are frequently seeing, drought, untimely drought, and untimely flood, which is creating a lot of problems to the dwellers in the valley area particularly, and the landslides in the hill areas, which are associated with deforestation also. So conservation of wetlands, that is very much necessary to have this environmental equilibrium in the state, in the valley area. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Is
sir.
there any question? I don't think so. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh, for saying. I am very much interested about wetland. In our Bangladesh, we have some wetlands, and the ecology of wetland is of my concern to some extent. So, if possible, I am requesting you to send some information regarding wetland through Termite Association. Okay?
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
I will be glad
if
I because science is like that. We don't have any borderline. We can cross.
There's no border. I am also a Mangrove literature. Okay. I don't.
So thank you very much.
I'm teaching literature, and I am also touching this area because my concern is what is going on in surrounding my vicinities. It also affects our sensibility also.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Next presenter, Hamavethi. Is he here? No. Next, Mr. Sunil Kumar Verma. Mr. Sunil Kumar Verma, are you here? Sunil Kumar Verma.
No, sir, he is not present.
Then next, Dr. Chandrima Goswami.
Sir, I am here. Am I audible, sir?
Okay, yes, you are audible. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Chandrima Goswami will present on climate change and natural disasters. Natural disasters associated with climate change we are observing in the current world. So I hope everybody will enjoy it. Please start your presentation.
Thank you, sir. Very good morning to the chairperson and all dignitaries who are over here. It's a privilege to be a part of this e-conference once again arranged by Hariharpur Friends of Environment together with the Termite Society from Bangladesh. So my topic of discussion is climate change and natural disasters. Next slide, please. So coming to the issue, it is a very alarming issue as of present, and we all are a bit definitely familiar with the steadily increasing warmth, that is the global warming that we all are facing. Yes, up to a certain extent, this warming is necessary for our sustenance, but not at the cost of damaging the natural resources, the life resources, the biodiversity, which all are together getting affected because of the increasing temperature day by day. So it is evolving gradually over the long term and is leading to certain changes like the frequency of different disasters, the intensity with which they are happening, the duration of time it is happening for a longer period of time, damaging more resource, and timing of the extreme weather and climate events. So with the changing climate again, the frequency of natural hazards which we know as natural hazards or disasters otherwise, now are becoming more alarming, more intense, and more frequent, and that is too globally. Next slide, please. So the changes that we are noticing are certainly like increase in extreme hot weather. That is definitely an issue. There are certain areas where reduced extreme cold weather is happening, and statistically significant increase in heavy precipitation at places, whereas again at places there are drought conditions which are more appealing. So all these are definitely taking an intense shape, and the climate shocks are being alarming so much that academicians and scientists are more profoundly trying to find out solutions, but it is not so very propagated among the masses till date because people are so very unaware about the situations like why it is happening. Next slide, please. Uh, So here I have added in the Indian context, such as the rainfall is increasing at certain areas. Noticeable changes in extreme rainfall event occurring over India in the past century, and there are noticeable spatial variations as well in the annual normal rainy days. Also in parts of coasts of Andhra Pradesh, then Orissa, then Bengal, in the northeastern states, and even in parts of Rajasthan, the intensity of rainfall has been extreme, and again, at places like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, some of the northeastern states, they are experiencing reduced rainfall, and that is very significant again. So the changing pattern is definitely due to the interannual variability of monsoon. Sometimes it is so very unpredictable, and all this is creating havoc changes that is again changing our lifestyle. Next slide, please. Coming to the flood situation, increased flood risk is now recognized as most important threat from climate change in different parts of the world. Yes, we are again familiar. And for the last 2 decades, even from the reports of Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, IPCC, the flood risks have increased havoc. It is very much noticeable since 1950s if we go ahead with the research, and the increased risk is over the eastern coast, West Bengal, parts of Uttaranchal and Gujarat. So consecutive flash floods have become so very intense. If we study the records starting from 2005 again, there was so much intense and frequent occurrence of flash floods in Mumbai, Chennai and Bangalore belt. Next slide, please. Here are some of the pictures from the Goalpara and Sonitpur districts of Assam, where the regions are flooded due to flash flood, and again there was the intense cloudburst that happened in the western Meghalaya hills and the western Arunachal Pradesh, and that is in 2004. So once the cloud bursts are there, which is again not so very recordable from a certain point of time, we notice it again all of a sudden, the cloud bursts and the flash floods do occur and create some damaging effects. Next slide, please. Again, some flash flood occurrence in the Arunachal Pradesh, north of Lakhimpur district, where inundated areas include more than 50 villages. There were displacement of more than 10,000 people, and the rivers like Ranga Nodi, Shingara, Dikrong, and Kakoi were flooded. Next slide, please. Coming to the drought situation again, this is something different again in terms of if we compare with the flood, this is different. But yes, this is also one intense occurrence that is more severe and frequent these days. And starting from 2011, it is again from the records of IPCC that even in the coming years, we are nearing to more severe drought conditions. So agricultural sector is very much related to the better farming conditions are to be prevalent so that agriculture can sustain well, but they are so very linked, so globally it is affecting the agriculture as well. Several districts in Assam badly affected due to the drought-like situations, and increased frequency of drought attributable to the anthropogenic warming as well. Next slide, please. And if we talk about some other consequences of these situations, rainfall occurring earlier or later is adversely affecting the sowing and crop harvesting. Then harvestable grains are getting damaged. We cannot save them properly. We cannot conserve them properly. Definitely it is affecting the food security and sustainability. We were listening to so many experts yesterday regarding the problems of food security and sustainability as well. Appearance of more number of invasive species and the native species are getting deprived of their usual nature and habitat. More number of disease and pest manifestation in the plants is there. There might be the propagation of more infection among the other animals, including human beings. Next slide, please. And even the IPCC predicted that the frequency of heat waves would increase. We also did notice that in Canada, the heat waves and the temperature went up to about 49 to 50 degrees Celsius this July, 30th June or 1st and 2nd July, that time period. And they were not at all prepared because the temperature does not increase in those areas up to that much. So they were not prepared with air conditioners and the amenities, facilities. And so a lot of death occurred, more than 500. So these are the situations which are more aggravating day by day. Intensity of heat waves would increase in parts of, and in certain states we are already facing that. Cold extremes will continue to happen, and the extreme precipitation events in the coastal high waters are also prevalent. Next slide, please. So if we definitely we need some remedy and mitigational measures, and for that we need to stick to the adaptation policies, like we need to reduce the greenhouse gas emission as much as possible. For that we need to have stringent policies, like sticking to the policies where we need to curtail the emission of the gases, depend on renewable energies more, and screening short duration varieties for drought resistance. Those crops are to be propagated. Sustainable farming is to be nurtured. Agroforestry with multi-purpose trees and crops should be the prime attention. And people are also migrating. They have no other alternative than migrating to certain other places, and that they find out a solution as a coping strategy for them. So next, please. Few of the references I have added over here. Next, please. Yes, these are some of the references, and there are many others. So thank you so much for your patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. In time. You are in time. Thank you
you,
for
sir.
your for your informative presentation. I think these are very common to us, but we overlook all these things. We need awareness about it. Climate change and its impact on our society is very much uh, alarming. And what should I say? We have already mentioned the roles of climate and agriculture, and we know most of the agricultural crops grow within the range of 15 to 40 degrees Celsius. And below 15 and above 14, the growth will be hampered while decreased rapidly. As because temperatures are directly related to photosynthesis, respiration, cell wall permeability, absorption of water and salt, nutrients, transpiration, enzyme activity, all these things. So what will happen if the temperature increases? One thing, what I have said, no paper I did found so far on the impact of climate change on microbial activity.
Excuse me, sir.
Soil, because this is the reserve. Pardon?
Sir, we have Hemavati here. The presenter is ready to present. Sir, I would like to request you to call the presenter, sir.
Okay,
Hemavati, sir.
okay. If the presenter is here, can present his or her paper.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hemavati, are you there?
Yes, sir. Just 2 minutes.
Thank you. We can't hear you. Maybe there is some network issue.
Hemavati, please unmute yourself.
Problem?
Sir, hearing, sir? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes. Now it is visible.
My topic is hydrological modeling of Kaliveli Watershed in Willpower district. I am Hemavati, research scholar of Department of Geography, Bharat Women's College. Ashok means the Kaliveli watershed is located with a water spread area of 70 kilometers and the catchment of 756 kilometers. Kaliveli is among the 20th largest wetland of India and it is the largest of the wetland, following Tamil Nadu. It is situated at 12.11.
Miss Hemavati, you are muted again. Please unmute yourself. we are not able to hear anything from you. Please unmute yourself and present your presentation. Your mic is muted.
Hello? Sir, hello?
Yes, you are audible.
Hello?
Yes, you are audible. We can hear you. Please continue. We can hear you.
Introduction.
Maybe there is a lot of network problems, sir. So if you want to continue and go to the next session, I will request you to go further, sir.
Who is next? Is there anybody who can present a paper?
I think no, sir. I will request you to, sir, give a short speech, overall speech, sir, from you, sir. We are waiting for from you, hear from you, sir.
Well, I will give you some brief.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, what I was telling about the effect of temperature on plants, and this is also effective for the growth of the microorganisms. Those are carrying out the transformation in the different segments of the environment. As you know, all microorganisms or organisms have certain definite temperature, optimum temperature. Titash,
I'm muting here. Himavati Raj. Sir, sorry for the interruption, sir. Himavati Raj, please requesting you to mute yourself. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. We are really sorry, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself, sir.
well, let me say something about it. You know, there are some organisms, microorganisms, those carry out important transformation related to the survival of the all living beings, I must say, because one is linked to another. I want to mention just one example of nitrification in soil and water. Again, the optimum temperature for nitrification is 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. What will happen if the temperature increases above this level? After 40, the rate will decline drastically. Anyway, if the temperature rises, what will happen? Possibly, these organisms will try to adapt themselves in the environment, like the COVID-19 virus, by changing some genome. We do not know, but we have to do something regarding this matter. Then I just mentioned one factor, that is some effects of temperature on the living beings, and temperature rise is one of the issue of the climate change, and the release of greenhouse gases I have already mentioned that is already too high. And with the people, the animals also release greenhouse gases, but I think there's little information about this. But we are thinking about the plant, microorganism, those things, but we have to think about the gases released from our body. You cannot control it because we are clever enough. We can exploit all the spheres of the environment. So uh, we have to think about it that if the temperature goes up, what will happen? Already Goswami mentioned, and I also know it. The temperature in Canada raised to 49 degrees Celsius. We do not know what will happen. Then, but the activities of human being, what has happened in the last few years, that a floating island named Great Pacific Garbage Patches. It is about 11 times, it covers 11 times area than that of the Bangladesh, and it is floating on the surface of the water. These plastics are were used by this human being and disposed to the environmental segments, and those are now accumulating on the surface of the sea. And recently, I was studying about microplastic. The impact of microplastic on the human being is very, very dangerous, but we are not fully aware of it. So these are the things we have to think about it. Now a lot of things are there, but within a short time I cannot mention all those things. Now I want to talk about the International Tiger Day. Yesterday already 2 of the presenters presented papers on this. Out of 13 countries where the tigers live, Bangladesh, India has the mangrove forest where tiger lives there. But in other countries, there is no mangrove forest and tigers live in the jungle. So in our forest area, unfortunately, Bangladesh could not increase the number of tigers significantly. We have only 114 tigers so far. Today I have read this message in the Pratham Anna. In our country, we are getting another place which is called Kasalam Forest in Bagaichori of Rangamati. Last 23rd July, a team went there and find out the forest where there is possibility of living tigers there. Then we will get one more space to where tiger can live there. The Tiger Day, but India, Nepal, and Bhutan raised their number up to double. So we are a bit behind our target. Next, the area covered by Sundarban in Bangladesh is 6,000 square kilometer from yesterday's lecture, and there are some organisms there, but due to our some activities, UNESCO was going to decide this year to declare it as endangered mangrove forest. But it was proposed by the Norwegian member and supported by the Australian one. But due to objection given by some countries like China and other countries, UNESCO is going to take decision in the next year, and they have inquired information regarding this matter, that is Rampal electricity plant and other industries those are under construction there. So we have to think about it, whether our World Heritage will be declared as endangered or not. There is a talk, better safe than sorry. We have still time to save this, but rather say sorry later on. Now, I like to finish my lecture by remembering a quotation given by my school teacher in the year possibly 1967 or 68. He is still alive and living in area, Kollanpur, Pekpara. He told me that do to others as you would be done by. বাংলায় যদি বলে অপরের প্রতি সেরূপ ব্যবহার করো যেরকম তুমি আশা করো. Well, this is fact. Newton also described that there is every action is there an equal and opposite reaction. What we are doing today, we will get its return from the nature. In recent time, we are getting something, but we will get more in the near future. I don't know what will happen because we are not still aware of all those things, because it is our interest. We like to enjoy life, but for the enjoyment, we need a lot of things. Those are responsible for the deterioration of the environmental segments. And yesterday, our presenter has already described the sources of air pollution and some other things. So I think the conference will generate some information to the learners, young scientists or young educators, those who will take initiative to restore our environment. I was waiting for the paper of the role of youth on environmental awareness for climate change, but that presenter is not present, so we are deprived of his presentation, I think. So I like to conclude here. Take care of yourself, and environment will take care of you. Thank you for the presence here. I like to wish you a safe life. Because of this COVID-19 situation, stay safe, wear mask. Though this is not the chapter, but in the current situation, we should think about it. Okay, thank you.
Sir, hello, sir. Sorry for interrupting, sir. Unfortunately, just Sunil Kumar Verma just messaged us. He is now available. Can you please allow him to present, sir?
Sunil Kumar Verma. Well, I don't have any objection, but the time constraint, we are already 12. So
Yes.
if the organizers are allow him, then I don't have any objection.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Titas, please continue.
Thank you. So Sunil Kumar, can you hear us?
Please unmute yourself.
Mr. Sunil Kumar Verma, please unmute yourself first. Mr. Sunil Kumar Verma, we can't hear you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please use one device at a time other than so that we are facing this echo. So please use one device and please share your screen.
Actually, we are going to our next session. If you can do hurry, it will be help us to complete the program successfully. Please, Sunil Kumar Verma.
Interruption from the internet. So close the session
So
here.
the founder and president of Friends of Environment, Apurva Kule Dada, what should we do now?
We think we have a shortage of time because we will have to go for the next session. And so after getting permission
Thank
from
you.
sir, we can.
Well, I have already closed the session. No problem.
Yes,
Go to the next one, okay? Because we are not that much late. It is now 12:07. Our next session should be at 12:15. Okay, we have a break. So take some tea and start next one.
Thank you, sir.
I hope I will continue in the next session also, because the environmental concern is very important. Because we have to talk
Yes, sir.
something
It's a
about
pleasure.
someone.
Sir, Sunil Kumar Verma is trying to present her. So
Okay.
I don't know what should I do now.
Very good, interesting article.
Yes, sir. Climate change.
Diksha, we can't hear you. Please let us know if it is any mic problem that then we can't do anything. We are extremely sorry for that. Please let us know. Are you able to present? It is muted. Please unmute yourself. No, we are not getting any voice.
Still, you are not audible, sir. Sunil Kumar,
Okay.
sir.
So we are extremely sorry, Mr. Sunil Kumar Verma. We are extremely sorry. We will have to close the session. It is 11:40 almost. So we are extremely sorry for that. If you can fix your problem, then we can try it in another session.
Another
Let
session.
us
Okay.
in-
I think that would be a good decision.
Yes.
Thank
Now
you, sir,
close
for
this
meeting us,
session,
sir.
okay? Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So thank you, sir. I would like to thank you, our chairperson, Dr. Shirajul Haq, for graceful chairing the whole session and the huge support. Your speech on microplastic, we can now relate the dangerous effect of microplastic, and you also enlighten us with a very significant info on the tiger. Your enthusiastic and smooth conduction of the program was a great learning session for us, sir. We wish to keep touch with you, sir, for our further every program, sir.
Well, I'm always in touch of the Termite society.
Thank you, sir.
Through my students. Okay.
Now, I would like to thank our guest speakers, Afrin Shaboni, Suman Kumar Shaho, Sohail Altaf, Dr. M. Rameshwar Singh, Mr. Sunil Kumar Bharma, Dr. Chandrima Goswami for giving such an informative presentation. Though here Hemavati and Sunil Kumar Bharma can't express their presentation here, we would like to have them in our next session. If we have slot to give them chance, we will do it. Now we will have a short tea break. I will request all the honorable guests and the participants to join the next second session by using the same link. Who will leave the session now? And who won't leave the session can stay here to enjoy our magazine unwrapping videography. And the next session will be hosted by my fellow host, Ms. Anandadi. We have mentioned it. We will mention the next session link in the chat box. Please consider it again for joining after the tea break. And we are looking forward to having you in the next session also. And enrich your knowledge from our various respected speakers. For now, enjoy the unwrapping video of the magazine. Apurva Koleda, I will request you to play the video.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.